The world runs on energy, an invisible force that powers not just our homes, but the very heartbeat of our global economy. Every flicker of a city light, every hum of a machine, every journey we take is made possible by the steady flow of energy. It is the silent engine behind our daily lives, connecting continents, fueling innovation, and enabling the progress of civilization itself. It keeps our lights on, our vehicles moving, and our industries humming. From the moment we wake up and switch on a lamp, to the late-night trains that carry workers home, energy is the thread that weaves together the fabric of modern life. Factories rely on it to produce goods, hospitals need it to save lives, and businesses depend on it to stay competitive in a fast-paced world. Without reliable, affordable energy, modern civilization would grind to a halt. Imagine a world where the lights suddenly go out, where production lines freeze, and where communication networks fall silent. The consequences would ripple through every aspect of society, from the smallest household to the largest multinational corporation. Today, this foundation is under threat. The systems we've built are more fragile than they appear, and the stability we take for granted is increasingly uncertain. Geopolitical conflicts can disrupt oil and gas supplies overnight, sending shockwaves through global markets. A single event, a pipeline closure, a military standoff, or a trade embargo can set off a chain reaction, causing prices to spike and economies to falter. When energy prices rise, so does the cost of everything else: food, transportation, manufacturing. The impact is immediate and far-reaching, affecting the price of groceries, the cost of commuting, and the expenses faced by businesses large and small. For families, this means tighter budgets. Every dollar spent on higher energy bills is a dollar less for essentials like food, education, and healthcare. Parents are forced to make difficult choices, cutting back on comforts and sometimes even necessities. For nations, the risk of inflation and unrest grows. Rising costs can spark protests, strain public services, and put pressure on governments to act quickly, sometimes with limited options. The world's dependence on a few energy-rich regions creates vulnerabilities. A disruption in one part of the globe can send ripples across oceans, affecting supply chains and economies thousands of miles away. A crisis in one country can trigger a domino effect, impacting dozens of others. Stock markets tumble, trade slows, and uncertainty spreads, making recovery even more challenging. Nations find their policies and economies tied to the whims of distant powers. Decisions made in foreign capitals can shape the fate of millions, forcing leaders to navigate a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and economic interests. The search for new, reliable energy sources is now a top priority for governments everywhere. Investments in renewables, innovation in technology, and international cooperation are all part of the urgent quest to secure a stable energy future. This isn't just an economic issue, it's a human one, shaping the daily lives of billions. The struggle for affordable, accessible energy determines whether children can study at night, whether families can stay warm in winter, and whether communities can thrive. The struggle for energy is a struggle for progress and security. It is about protecting our way of life, ensuring opportunity, and building resilience in the face of uncertainty. As established powers adapt, emerging nations are seeking their own solutions. They are investing in new technologies, forging partnerships, and striving to leapfrog old systems in pursuit of a brighter, more independent future. The global energy crisis is a defining challenge of our time. How we respond will shape not only the future of our economies, but the very fabric of our societies for generations to come. The Philippines, a nation of over 7,000 islands scattered across the Pacific, faces a unique and daunting challenge. Its geography, while breathtakingly beautiful, also presents significant obstacles when it comes to energy security and economic stability. Each island, large or small, is a piece of a vast puzzle that must be connected and powered, but the resources to do so are not always within reach. Despite its abundant natural resources and the promise of a bright future, the country remains heavily dependent on imported fuel to keep its lights on and its economy moving. Every day, massive shipments of oil and fuel arrive at its ports, a lifeline that comes with a heavy price. This reliance on foreign energy makes the Philippines extremely vulnerable to the unpredictable swings of the global market. When international oil prices rise, the effects ripple quickly through the nation, causing anxiety among business leaders and ordinary citizens alike. When oil prices spike, electricity costs soar, squeezing families and businesses. Jeepney fares rise, goods become more expensive, and economic growth slows. The cost of living climbs, and everyday essentials become harder to afford for millions of Filipinos. High energy costs make air conditioning a luxury and hinder small businesses. Many shop owners are forced to cut back on electricity use, making workplaces uncomfortable and productivity harder to maintain, especially during the sweltering summer months. In remote areas, frequent brownouts disrupt daily life and limit opportunity. Children study by candlelight, families wait in the dark, and local enterprises struggle to survive without reliable power, deepening the divide between urban and rural communities. The government has invested in renewables like geothermal and solar, recognizing the urgent need for sustainable solutions. Across the country, new projects are taking shape, bringing hope to communities long left in the dark. But as cities grow and populations rise, demand for energy keeps outpacing supply. The bright lights of Manila and other urban centers are a testament to progress, but they also highlight the immense challenge of meeting the nation's ever-increasing needs. The core problem remains: deep reliance on imported fossil fuels. Each shipment is a reminder of the country's vulnerability and the urgent need for change. This dependency drains national wealth, sending billions of pesos overseas each year, and limits progress at home. Investments that could go into schools, hospitals, or infrastructure are instead spent on keeping the power running. The search for a lasting solution has never been more urgent. Leaders, innovators, and everyday citizens are coming together, determined to chart a new course for the archipelago, a future where energy is secure, affordable, and truly Filipino. Beneath the shimmering expanse of the West Philippine Sea, a hidden world waits to be discovered. These waters, stretching far beyond the horizon, hold secrets that could change the destiny of an entire nation. Deep below the surface lies a potential answer to the Philippines' growing energy crisis. A solution that could light up millions of homes, power industries, and fuel dreams for generations to come. Geological surveys have revealed vast, untapped reserves of oil and natural gas beneath these waters. Experts believe these resources are significant, enough to not only meet the country's current needs, but to transform its future, making the Philippines a key player in the region's energy landscape. At the heart of this promise lies the Recto Bank, a rich underwater plateau within the country's exclusive economic zone. If harnessed, its energy could power the nation for decades, providing a stable foundation for growth and prosperity. But unlocking these resources is no simple task. It would require massive investment, advanced technology, and the collaboration of skilled engineers and workers. The journey is challenging, but the potential rewards, energy security, economic growth, and national pride are immense. Achieving energy independence would mean more than just stable electricity. It would create thousands of new jobs, boost local industries, and help keep prices affordable for every Filipino family. It's a chance to build a stronger, more resilient economy. The Malampaya gas field has already shown what's possible. For years it has powered much of Luzon, lighting up cities and fueling progress. Its success is a glimpse of what the future could hold. But time is running out. Malampaya's reserves are dwindling, and the nation faces the urgent need to find new sources of energy before the lights begin to dim. That's why new discoveries in the West Philippine Sea are not just an opportunity, they are a necessity. The search for energy is a race against time, and every new find brings hope for a brighter tomorrow. Today, the Philippines stands on the brink of an energy revolution. The choices made now will shape the lives of millions and determine the nation's path for decades. The question is, can the nation seize this chance, unlock the treasures beneath its waters, and secure a brighter, more sustainable future for all? The path to these resources is blocked by geopolitical tensions. The West Philippine Sea is at the heart of a fierce territorial dispute with China. China's sweeping claims overlap with the Philippines' own, including the resource-rich Recto Bank. Chinese vessels regularly patrol and intimidate in these waters, hindering Philippine exploration. In 2016, the Philippines won a landmark legal victory at The Hague, but China refuses to recognize it. The Philippines is left with legal rights, but limited power to enforce them. Moving forward risks confrontation. Doing nothing means continued dependence. It's a high-stakes dilemma requiring careful diplomacy and resolve. The nation must find a way to unlock its resources without igniting conflict. Imagine the Philippines achieving energy independence. Billions spent on imports would stay in the country, fueling economic growth. Electricity costs would drop, putting more money in families' pockets and lowering business expenses. Industries would become more competitive, creating millions of jobs. Reliable power would end crippling outages, attracting foreign investment. The country could become a regional hub for manufacturing and technology. Strategically, the Philippines would gain leverage and freedom in global affairs. Energy security would strengthen national security and sovereignty. The benefits would ripple through every sector of society. This is the promise of true energy independence. Energy wealth could transform the Philippines' infrastructure. Modern highways, ports and airports could connect the archipelago and boost trade. Investments would build a resilient energy grid, clean water systems, and high-speed internet nationwide. A sovereign wealth fund could secure prosperity for future generations, investing oil and gas revenues wisely. Infrastructure projects would create millions of jobs and drive long-term growth. The nation could finally close its infrastructure gap and unlock its full potential. This is about more than concrete and steel. It's about building a modern, thriving economy. Energy wealth could reshape the nation's future. The real impact of energy wealth is measured in lives improved. Revenues could fund world-class education and healthcare, lifting millions out of poverty. New schools, hospitals, and social programs would raise living standards nationwide. Stable jobs and lower costs would empower families and reduce inequality. Fewer Filipinos would need to work abroad, bringing talent and hope back home. Prosperity would be shared, not just by a few, but by all. This is the ultimate promise, a better life for every Filipino. The Philippines stands at a historic crossroads. One path is the status quo, continued dependence and missed opportunity. The other is bold action, asserting sovereign rights, building alliances, and developing its own resources. This requires unity, strong institutions, and transparent governance to avoid the pitfalls of the resource curse. The window of opportunity is closing as the world shifts to renewables. The time to act is now. The nation must weigh the risks of action against the costs of inaction. The choice will define the Philippines for generations. Will it seize its destiny or let it slip away? The future hangs in the balance. The Philippines has always been a nation of resilience and hope. Now it faces its greatest opportunity, a chance to break free from energy poverty and realize its full potential. Success would transform the country into an economic powerhouse and a beacon for the region. The sick man of Asia could become a model of prosperity and stability. The world would take notice, and the Filipino people would finally enjoy the dignity and opportunity they deserve. The resources, the rights, and the talent are all there. All that's needed is the will to act. For over 100 million Filipinos, a new era could be just over the horizon.